Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Who am I but I'm Dre Mac? Came into the game just to spit backs. Into the space that I'm in. They call me Bobby Drake cause I'm cold with the pen. I find no diamonds but I still shine. You can dig me cause my boy's mine. My tracks flame like a Gamu. The hardest part on my tongue, thinking is a warm blue. I'ma throw with a gas leak. Camouflage in the mist, but you smell me. One spark, and I bet you I'ma blow up. Just throw my name around, get stupid, then you go dumb. No rest for the weary, or versus thinking in his man, but you can't see me. You rather drink than go pull up, but drink a knife through the game, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. I came to eat at the a la carte. Got stripped of a bear, call me brainstorm. Then I come together like a Voltron. Then I pour all the planks, you use Decepticons. Fake rappers in the streets like Cobra. 80s they get floating like up in the storage and I'm E-man. Up, down, down, man, I'm cheap. You a beast, man. I take a beat in. Ninja Turtle rap, Turtle Clans get defeated. High samurai, you can call me Night Rider. You can never stop me, cause I'm a guy bomb. Bad attitude like a rocket, my whole to the A, and I bet you can stop us. LL bad, when I go and show up, you can hear the haters in the back. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie.
This is a test. This station is conducting a test of the emergency broadcasting system. This is only a test.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Taste the honey sauce. Taste the goodness of the biscuit with the honey sauce. Don't get that honey sauce on me. I don't like the way it tastes with my chicken wings.
We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What is going on, everybody? This is your man, Dre Mac, coming to you again with another episode of the Dre Mac Show. 7:30 in the morning Central Time, 8:30 on the East Coast. If you're from the West Coast right now, go ahead and get up because you already know that the early bird gets the worm. And in my YouTube Grifter, this is actually supposed to be part 9. I accidentally put that wrong. I just know, I looked down like, wait a minute, that's wrong. But we're looking at the Birdman, who is asking the question, is he a YouTube grifter? And I have a very special video from somebody who does not like the Birdman. We're going to react to all of it. We're going to react to all of it because even the opening sentence to exposing the Grifter, the Birdman. See, this is what I'm going to do. We're going to do, I think this is, Sandman Cinema, somebody who basically has the same, he's a very small YouTuber. We're going to listen to what he got to say. And then we're going to go into a Birdman. The Birdman's video is a little older, but somebody in the chat, last time I did, in my YouTube Grifter reaction was like, yo, do a reaction video to the Birdman talking about he's a grifter. So while I grabbed that video, I guess that video, when I grabbed that video, this other video came out. Somebody exposing the Grifter to Birdman. Oh, you know I got to do that one. You know I got to do that one. Because I want to tie all this together. How the Birdman has been putting a foot in these grifters behind so bad that they're finding each and every way to see if he's really the grifter. He's really the grifter. Look. He's grifting. Look at him. And like dude on on Jurassic Park, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Just because you say it doesn't mean it isn't true. We gonna find out. So hopefully you guys are happy. Hopefully you guys are healthy. Shout out to my man Heavy Gan over at the Heavy Gan channel. But you already know how I do. The real question is, are you
say why you hating on my energy? Say why you hating on my energy? I don't think you wanna be my enemy.
All right. Before we always get started, let me shout out everybody who is in the house today, especially when you come in early. Everybody gets a shout out when you come in early. If you come in the middle of the stream, sometimes I might not be able to get you, but that's my fault. That's my fault because if I'm in a middle of a reaction, in the middle of a thought, charge it to my heart, not my head. Or you can charge it to my head and not my heart. One of them, whatever the saying goes. All right. Michael Johnson, good morning. Andre Ware's up in here. What's up? My man, Torian Rain Reloaded is up in here. What's up? Make sure to holler if you're not subscribed to Torian Rain Reloaded. Make sure that you do that. Chillmonger's in the house. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe to Chillmonger's channel. Blue's House Live. Y'all be saying, what up, Blue? Or you subscribe to Blue's channel. Make sure you do that. You know what I mean? Cinematic Nightmares podcast. When you see that coming there, I want you to make sure that you like, share, and subscribe if you haven't. See, we be having other YouTubers in here. Make sure that you checking them out. Check them out. Minty Gasm, aka Tina, aka Minty Gasm. Good morning. And of course, you already know we're tasting the biscuits around here. You know what I'm saying? I got another biscuit song though that it's gonna come. Trust me. There's another from an unlikely source, and I knew that was saying it. Y'all didn't catch it in the episode. I'm not gonna tell y'all nothing until I do it. Xavier Phoenix, what's up? Good morning. Priscetta, good morning. It's nice to see you in here, and I just seen your message. So most definitely blessings to you, your family, everybody. Johnny Rastafari, what's up? Yeah, it ain't been a whole lot of grifting going on. What's going on? What's wrong? Judah Vision, good morning to Tokyo Grift. That's funny. Erica D, aka She Loves Fantasy. Good morning. Eddie Foster, good morning. Nice to see you up in the chat like that. Good morning. Rashad Walker, of course, is always in the house. Good morning. My brother, Junior Network, is up here. What's up? Make sure y'all check it out, Junior Network, too. Don't get it twisted. My man gets you updated with all the Michael Jackson stuff. So make sure that y'all check it out, especially if you try to figure out when the Michael Jackson, the biopic is supposed to come out, all of that. Man, my man Junior Network is on it. Enrique Hawkins, what's up? My man Sheed is up here. Good morning. Mel NYC Reviews, what's up? Good morning, my brother. Good morning. Hey, appreciate it. Kiana, what's up? Hey, good morning. I really love that song. Well, man, Chill is up here. I told you, see, make sure if you haven't checked out Chillmonger or check out the Morning Report. Well, my man Darius over Planet Fanatics, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Pantheon comes out on Thursday. What you doing, baby? Make sure that you go and like, share, subscribe to these channels, man. I'm trying to tell you. My guys, King Mo, and all of them over at Popcorn to Your Beer. Come on now. I can list down. Go to my list. All of those channels you see on the list is all the channels I rock with. That's small YouTube channels like myself. Oh, God. Boy, the Grifter's trying to get me today. Yeah. Oh, man. Ooh, got me. Oh, Jesus. I don't know what's up in there. Long, I guess a long night. Long night. Amber. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It said it's mowed along in the blasted heat day. I did it yesterday. Did it rain today? So I was ahead of the game. Wavy things. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Wow. 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 I'm not responding to that. Roberta, the church IT. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And make sure that you like, share, subscribe to the channel. Come on now, stop playing. Did I kill it, Enrique? What did I say? I probably said some, dude, I'm over here dying. I'm sorry, Enrique. I just see your message. Tyler J, good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh, man. Mario Faith Warrior, good morning, good morning. Nice to see you up in the chat for the first time. Oh, man. Bro, I am so sorry. Dre, are you ready for the anticipated Eyes of Wakanda? If I tell you the truth, no. Arika, is it Arika? Did I say Arika or Enrique? I probably was mixing up names, but I do that. Okay. Eyes of Wakanda. No, I'm not like, oh my God, I can't wait for that show to come out. I'm curious, but I'm not like, I'm not like, oh my God, I'm so super hyped. You guys wanted me to want me to cover it, see what they're talking about. And that's just me. I will watch it just so I can see what they're talking about. I might not even like it. I might like it. I don't know. But I want to see what they're doing. You know what I mean? That's the only reason why I do it. I want to see what they're doing. If I catch to see what they're doing, then I could be able to critique it better, because even though I'm not super interested, it might be something that interests me. I don't know. But I'm not super excited. I'm not even going to hold you. Not like that. I'm not like, oh man, what? I can't wait for Eyes of Wakanda. No, I'm not. But I am very interested to see what they have to say in the show. And what is the premise of the show? And how does it tie into T'Challa? Does it tie into T'Challa? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So I think that's what it is. So, so yeah. They moved up the date of Eyes of Wakanda. When is the date? Is it now? I don't know. Because you know what I mean? I didn't know. So if y'all tell me the date, then I'll cover it. But before we get into that, let me make sure, instead of Eyes of Wakanda, I shout out the magnificent crew, because you the ones who make this channel worth it. Let's go. Hold up. Wait a minute. Wait. Whoa. Stop everything you're doing. Go and hit that like button. I know this is probably your first time watching, and you probably enjoying everything. Stop fucking on the channel and go and hit that subscribe button so you never miss one of my videos or one of my morning live streams. And for only $2.99 a month, you can be a part of the crew. And shout out to all my crew members that been holding it down for Dre Mack and the crew since the beginning. All right, back to your regularly scheduled program, now in service. Go. Bye. All right, all right, all right. And again, shout out to all of the members of this magnificent crew. I really appreciate you guys. You have no idea. All the ones who show me love. Miss Roberta always show me love up in here. You know what I'm saying? It's other ones. I'm not, Erica D, Presetta, Dane C, and a lot of you guys, but I just appreciate everything that you guys do. Like for real. All the super chats, what I'm saying, the gifting of the membership. Excuse me, the gifting of the memberships, all of that stuff, man. I really appreciate you guys. So let's get into it. Before we get into it, I'm gonna be right back because I gotta get whatever this is out of my throat. Maybe because the Grifters is finally about to catch up, and Critical Drinker probably looking outside my window now. Who's that peeking in the window? Pow! Nobody now. Oh, nah. I'll be right back with more of the Dre Max Show.
Hey, y'all, I got a great new album in the mail today.
I don't like the way the honey sauce dripping on my chicken wings, my chicken wings. But I got the honey sauce, the honey sauce for your chicken wings, for your chicken wings, yeah.
This is a fantastic album, man. Let me borrow it.
No, my brother. You've got to buy your own.
We now return to the Transformers.
Hey, which one of y'all gonna get that album for one of your friends? No, my brother. You got to get your own. Persetta, thank you so very much for the $1.99 super chat. Bless to you and your family. No, blessings to you. You're so glad to see you up in the chat. You know what I mean? So I really appreciate you, and I'm glad everything is good. You're feeling better, and you're up in the chat today. About to get into some grifting, but before we get into that, let's get into one of these. Let me give you a super chat, Persetta. One that y'all know y'all like.
You are truly amazing.
Thank you for
Taste
your
the
super chat.
goodness of the biscuit.
He said, nah, you got to get your own. Not a honey biscuit right now. He said, I think Dre scared out some of that grifting. No, it was just wait. Trust me, it's coming. Trust me, it's coming. When they find something to talk about, trust me, it's coming. But since that, let me get into this video because technically, I've been doing my reaction videos. This person, the Sandman Cinema, did this a couple of months ago. And, he's referencing this name of this. This is called Exposing the Grifter, the Birdman. I mean, he didn't add him, but he did. He did add him. So, okay. Said he thinks highly of himself. And thinks the opposite of anti-woke YouTube. And this is what he put. I'm reading this verbatim. The Birdman thinks very highly of himself. And he thinks the opposite of the woke, anti-woke YouTube. And has gloated. I mean, I want this man to do a spell check. And has gloated how he loves the truth and hates liars. He needs to look in the mirror since I have him lying about Eric July. Point blank, I have the receipts. And then he hashtagged the Birdman, Eric July, Young Ripper, Geeks and Gamers, and Comics. So let's see what he's talking about. This is the preference what the Birdman said about himself. So I want to give you the preference. Sandman Cinemas is first. And then let's see actually what the Birdman actually has to say about himself. So let's get to this. Transition real quick. What the whole entire hell, YouTube? I mean, not YouTube. It's StreamYard. StreamYard be going well for 3 weeks straight. And then that day you need it. You know what I mean? But I've always told you guys when a lot of people come and say, "Oh, I got these receipts," when you're exposing someone, or you are pointing out certain things, especially when it comes to these grifters, the thing you need to notice first, the first thing, if you hear shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right, you already know it's going to be some bull job. You already know. Shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. Shout out to, the Godfather, Kevin Samuels, for the sign language. Because anybody who can't argue with you is always going to shame you. Or, you know what I'm saying? Shame, insult. They're always going to insult you. They're going to try to guilt trip you, make you feel bad about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Or they're going to argue a need to be right. Because no matter what you say, I'm right. I don't care. I'm right. And who starts off anything, saying, well, you can't, this guy thinks highly of himself. So a guy can't think highly of himself? A lot of these grifters already gloat. So when somebody else gloats, then, man, you can't think highly of yourself. Well, I'm supposed to think low about myself? Oh, man, you know what? I really hate myself, but, let me get through this video. I want to prove to y'all. So there's automatically a sign. That's part of sign language. Oh, this guy thinks highly of himself. Let me bring you down a peg. So let's get to the video real quick.
So the great thing about people like the Birdman is he makes my job so easy because he has made such a straw man of the critical drinker, calling him a line grifting racist chud or Eric July an idiot poser, because obviously if you call someone that, it's implied that you're not those things. However, I don't need to imply since Birdman loves jerking himself off at the thought of pretending like he's—
Pause. Let's stop right there. Pause.
Some great agent of truth, a moral paragon of virtue and ethics, a shining light of facts and logic.
Not to toot my own horn or anything, but I'm really good at sussing out bullshit and putting it in a way that's easy for people to understand.
If he puts an argument, he legitimately likes to debate with people. You know what I mean? This is one of the kind of people who like the Birdman. How the Birdman is, from the first time that I actually interacted with him 4 years ago, is he likes to debate. He will go, like, especially back then, he will go into his comment section and debate your ass if he feels like he's right. Now, again, I believe everybody has a right to their opinion, right? He never insulted me. We were just going back and forth on the fact of science, and I think at that time I was like really super religious, as far as like the religious side, and not actually looking at, the word and actually bringing logic to it so I could give my argument. I was doing what every religious person would do at that time. That's on fire for the Lord. You know what I'm saying? So you wrong, you heathen. What are you talking about? You had no idea. I'm gonna throw some bless oil on you. Not Miss Roberta though, because she don't do that. But no, I was, you know what I mean? So, but it was, for me, for my interaction, it was a debate, but it wasn't a debate of, of insults. It was a respectable debate, if I can say it like that. It's a respectable debate. We're just two headstrong people giving our thoughts. That's cool with me. But he does like to argue, and he tells you he likes to argue. So you already know what you're coming into if somebody likes to argue that he literally puts for fun. Let me keep going.
See, I have this personality quirk where I can't stand to see a lie being told or an inaccuracy being held publicly. This causes me to argue on basically any platform you can find me on. It's cathartic for me to prove someone is wrong using evidence, because I cannot stand public lies where people get away with saying wrong things. When I was a child, this behavior caused my mother to always proclaim that I would grow up to be a lawyer, because arguing a case is something I've been doing for over 30 years. including against her.
Which means I don't need an overbloated hit piece to show what a complete crock of shit that image is. And I have the evidence. I have the receipts. Actually, I've had the receipts for a while, and I've made a video about it. But being a small YouTuber, I can only do so much. But luckily for me, the dumbass repeated the same line in another video.
Eric July, ostensibly a comic book entrepreneur, frames his media presence around combating the left and rejecting mainstream culture. His audience isn't paying for storytelling, they're paying to feel superior to a cultural establishment they believe has rejected them. His business model is less about art and more about cultural insurgency as product. This is the guy that blatantly lied about not liking Miles Morales because he was a token black ripoff of Peter Parker, when we have footage of him saying Miles is a good example of a non-token character taking up a mantle.
Do you like Miles Morales then?
No. Yeah, some characters have been written decently that are of different races and have suited up in the suit of a hero or a version of that hero. One of the more obvious is Miles Morales as Spider-Man. Morales has his own background. This is far better than just simply making Peter Parker a black guy. But
now we've talked about this before. We've did a reaction video to this video. Matter of fact, somebody I got into it with. I now understand why they got into it with me, because they were big fans of and friends with Eric July. So now I understand why all that heat came from, because when you're friends with somebody, you got to represent your friend. I'm not mad at that. I've always been a debater, but I debate in just logic. If you make an excellent point, I would concede, because that's what a debater does. If you make a logical point that actually has facts and evidence that backs up your facts, then what can I say? You have the receipts. I'm out, big dog. You got that one, But a lot of people will come in to a debatable situation and just use feelings with it. Let me see if this guy who called all of what because that is a receipt. He literally in 2018 he did say that he liked a well-written character like Miles Morales. But beforehand, but after that, he's crapping on Miles Morales. So what really is it? That's all the Birdman said. Let me see if this guy gets to the receipts that he has.
Miles is an exception, make no mistake.
Integrity. How much do you think this blatant contradiction helped the sales of his comic book ISOM?
And the sad thing is, Rippa already debunked it. He literally made a video called "You Used to Like Miles Morales." Monetize your haters.
What's up, bro?
That's how much of a truth seeker Birdman is. Not only did he lie, but he was so moronic he didn't do the due diligence to see that Eric July already debunked that point a while ago.
But you had this crack smoker right here who says this.
This is
Eric used to like the character, even saying he's more than just a black Peter Parker, but he changed his tone when he found out he could make money by pandering to racist comic book fans who hate Miles Morales. So the argument this person is making, again, said that, number one, I used to like the character. Number two, saying I said that he's more than just a black Peter Parker. Now, you guys understand, people have watched this is a 4-year-old video, but you guys that watch my material, my position has been very, very consistent on this issue. I've explained in detail what I mean by tokenism. Don't care how you define it. Don't give a crap. But I've defined it in the way that I am using it, which is really all that matters. And I've defined it precisely. It's not a catch-all term. I specifically reference in tokenization as race, gender, sexuality, swaps, etc. of pre-established characters. I've also stated many times that not all tokenism.
Let me stop right there. When it comes to what I'm going to tell you what Eric is doing right now and why this guy doesn't understand what he's doing, right? What Eric July is doing right now is what we call, especially in the political realm, word salad. You say a bunch of stuff in the beginning to really throw your audience off. You're going to use the word tokenism. We have seen derivatives of legacy characters for how many years in comics? Let me repeat that again. we have seen derivatives, of different characters in comics for how many years? For legacy characters, that's what we're talking about. The legacy characters that is derivative of the main character. Give you an example. Listen, small example. Superman, Superboy. Superman is here. He was the original character. The legacy character is Superboy, right? He's a derivative of the original character, Superman, along with Krypto the Superdog, along with Supergirl, right? Along with Bizarro, along with Ultraman, along with Earth 2 Super. You see how I keep going? So when you talk about tokenism, you're only using that when you're literally talking about who are tokens. Black people. Right? What do we call black people when they're in white spaces? When they're the only one in white spaces, we're like, that's a token black guy. They never use tokenism for white characters, for female characters, or any other race. Why you think in South Park the black character is named what? So when you hear the word token doesn't get you in the mind frame of a woman, especially a white woman. Captain Marvel. The original, or let me just say it like this. The original Captain Marvel or Marvel was the original character. They had to keep the rights. So they had Miss Marvel, who's technically a derivative of Marvel, technically, but she went by Miss Marvel. And then you have the legacy character who had the name first, Monica Rambeau, Captain Marvel. Just showing you an example of a derivative character. Now, are you calling her a token? They're using Miles Morales, but he's not using Ben Reilly. He's using Miles Morales, but he's not using Miguel O'Hara. Are you catching what I'm throwing down? So again, what Eric July is doing is word salad to throw you off, because the first thing you think about tokenism is black people, especially black men. Let's see if he keeps going.
Is created equal. There are different ways to do it, and there are more or less preferable ways to do it because they're not all equal.
That doesn't even make sense. So hold on. Look, this is so, again, Eric July literally used a bunch of word salad. Who's the first person you see on here? A person of a minority group, a token character. Minority group is not white women. A token character literally is kind of not even, you think about Asian or Mexican or Middle Eastern or anybody. Normally when they use token, that's who they're using. The little character, official black, token in black. So if you go back, if I rewind what Eric July just said, and this dude is going to, because he couldn't do something as simple, right? He didn't do something as simple as just go look up what he's actually saying, right? What people ask, why are black characters called tokens? Because in the late 1960s or early 70s, cartoons was mostly racially themed, depicted black people in token roles where they are only there to create a sense of inclusion. Dude, this is simple. This is simple. This is simplicity, right? So this has nothing to do with actually what the Birdman said. He's using the clip where Eric July is just giving you word salad, and you're not smart enough to think for yourself and say, you know what? Let me pull back real quick. Let me look this up for myself. Token. If you're talking about token, you're normally talking about black people because that's what it's derived from. That's the big push when you use token character. So whatever he was saying doesn't make a lick of sense whatsoever. So let's go back. Let's listen to what he said again. And I told you when I can tell when people are using word salad, they're using word salad to throw you off, and that has nothing to do with nothing. Let's go back. What's up, Kevin? So he didn't, if you notice that he never addressed talking about pandering to racist, what did he say? Pandering to the racist comic book fans who hate Miles Morales. Instead of saying, hold on, wait a minute. First of all, I don't pander to nobody. Let me address, you're telling me that I'm pandering to a group of people who don't like a character that's the same color as me. He never addresses this. What he does address is a bunch of word salad to throw you off, so you're not really, so you're not really understanding clearly what he's saying, and tried to use a word that was used just like woke, that was used to describe us when we're the only black in the neighborhood, we're only black there, we're the token black guy, to try to make a point that does not make sense. Let me keep going. Azale Raiden. See, you never addressed it. What you see, what he defined by tokenism, not what actually tokenism means. When you use a word and you try to, now these are the same people, let me say this, these are the same people that took the word, he's one of the ones that took the word woke and SJW and all this other stuff to create their own words. Instead of woke being what it really means, when even Tyrone Magnus even says, I know that I'm using the secondary character, the secondary portion of that. I know I'm not using what it really means. Eric July is like, I'm going to change the definition, but then goes after the left who changed the definition of what a woman is. Y'all got to make y'all mind up. You can't change a word and then get mad when they change a word. If you want to be fair, let's be fair, right? Y'all preach. The video doesn't have sound. Hold up, does the video not have sound? Oh God, okay, my bad. I didn't share the screen. Okay, let me go back because I want y'all to listen to this. Let me play the clip one more time. Because again, what he's saying is, he said, this is my definition of tokenism. But you can't now redefine a word without preference, without letting people know exactly, number one, what the actual word means, right? What is in the original state and why I'm using it in a different state. Again, you can't sit up here and be on the far right and saying, hey, those people over there on the left is using the word wrong, and then you're turning around and using the word wrong because you want to define it. That's not how it works. Listen to it. I'm sorry. I didn't play it the first time. Listen to what he said. Listen exactly what he's saying.
Character. Even saying he's more than just a black Peter Parker, but he changed his tone when he found out he could make money by pandering to racist comic book fans who hate Miles Morales. So the argument this person is making, again, said that, number one, I used to like the character. Number two, saying I said that he's more than just a black Peter Parker. Now, you guys understand, people have watched this is a 4-year-old video, but you guys that watch my material, you know my position has been very, very consistent on this issue. I've explained in detail what I mean by tokenism. Don't care how you define it. Don't give a crap. But I've defined it in the way that...
No, you can't do that. You can't do that. Okay. For the sake of argument, you can do that. But preface what tokenism actually means. Now what you're trying to do is trying to change the language to fit your argument. Just the same way that you get mad about the left defining what a woman is, defining the LGBT community, or defining this and defining that, what they do. You can't say, this is my, I don't care what you say about what tokenism really means. This is how I'm saying it. You can't say it the way I'm saying it like that. You're changing language. Ain't that's what the far right get mad at the far left for doing? Is changing language? Now you're trying to define it to fit your argument. You can't do that, big dog. You can't do it. You can't do it. Because if you don't preference, the reason why I'm saying you can't do it, because if you don't preference what tokenism actually means and why I'm using it to make this statement in my argument, your argument is what? Invalid. Let me keep going.
That I am using it, which is really all that matters. And I've defined it precisely. It's not a catch-all term. I specifically reference in tokenization as race, gender, sexuality, swaps, etc. of pre-established characters. I've also stated many times that not all tokenization is created equal. There are different
again, you're taking the word and you're trying to fit it into your own bubble. That is not how that works. That is not how that works, because you never preference. He never prefaced that in the original video for 4 years ago. You see what I mean? So if he would have came, if in that video, he would have said, look, this is what I define as tokenism. Now, tokenism meant this, but now I'm defining tokenism as that because this is why they A, B, C, and D. Because now, as somebody who's listening and understanding and actually have a logical brain, will say, I can understand where you're coming from. But what you're trying to do is use a word like tokenism and try to make it fit in all categories. Now, you can say it's all each one is not created equal. Yes, it is, based on the root of the word. Based on the root of the word. That now all of a sudden you change the language to fit your argument. Dog, what are you doing?
Ways to do it, and there are more or less preferable ways to do it because they're not all equal.
Let's talk about something that isn't really new, but I think it requires a video because I want folks to understand where I'm coming from with this. Changing the race, ethnicity, and so forth of a pre-established character is some of the wackest shit ever, but let me explain.
Okay, so
before he goes, isn't this something that has been going on in comics for how many years? How many years? So again, this is what I'm talking about. Real comic book fans don't give a crap about that because we know that this is fictional stories. We know what happened with Miss Marvel and Marvel. We know what happened with the other Captain Marvel that come along, Monica Rambeau. We know about Supergirl, Superdog, Super this, Super that, Batgirl, you know what I'm saying? Batwing, bat lashes, bat whatever. We already know there's always been derivative characters that's legacy character. Whether you think it's whack or not, it's always been like that. It's always been like that. What you're doing is using it as a goal to rile up a base.
I made my position very clear. It's some of the wackest stuff ever. I'm actually going to double down on that after I make this point about Miles Morales. So the act in itself, I consider less preferable. I do not like it. I am not fond of it, but I can look at things objectively and I can look at things and see, considering the pool, what's more or less preferable than, let's say, for comparison's sake, something else. Okay. So you have characters that are derivatives. You have characters that are knockoffs, all of that. And I can look at them in terms of what's better and what's worse and what's far more or less preferable, even though when it comes to tokenism, the actual like act per se, I consider whack. Now we're going to move to where
again, he never preferenced tokenism. You see, you see, you can't say tokenism and try to fit it in his bubble without telling your audience what the actual word of tokenism is and why I'm using it this way is in a sentence. It's literally English 101, Eric. This is literally like Butter Biscuit and another. He's been a Butter Biscuit brother. He just took himself off YouTube. It's no, or I don't know. Did he take himself off of YouTube to go get his comic or whatever? You see what I mean? Again, it's simple. You're not educating your audience on what it is. And someone like this Sandman character, the Sandman guy, is not smart enough to sit back and be like, wait a minute, hold up. I'm listening to what Eric is saying, but that don't sound right. Because if tokenism was for a minority group and normally used to talk about black people being token, you know, the token guy in the white room, then how does that work in comic books? You think it's whack? Cool. Okay. That doesn't mean it's tokenism. Because then you have to say, well, Supergirl is tokenism. You literally have to go through a laundry list of derivative legacy characters to say all of this is whack. So then, this is my thing. If all of that is whack and we just have the original characters, wouldn't the stories get boring after a while? Because people don't die, people don't take up, you gotta take up mantles or take up the moniker for a while until that person comes back and then they become a new moniker or whatever. The comic gets boring and you cannot grow your world if you're not willing to take risks with your characters. Even when you do a legacy a legacy character, a derivative of the original character, an understudy, all it, like, what? It doesn't make sense. And this is 5 minutes of the video, and this guy has not made the original guy has not made a point.
This idiot got this video from what they quoted. Now, this is the part that didn't get clipped in that clip. Listen to this.
Role that is centered around a suit. As an example, you have different characters that have been Batman, and different characters have worn these suits of Batman. But we all know the Batman is white as hell, and that's Bruce Wayne. That's the iconic Batman. So if you up and depicted a black Batman, you're going to get some backlash. And yeah, some characters have been written decently that are of different races and have suited up in the suit of a hero.
All right, so again, that is the context. I mentioned another character, not Spider-Man, and like Batman and other people having, let's say, filled his suit. Still less preferable, right? And whatnot. And what I'm going to mention here is Miles Morales, and I'm talking about.
But did you see? I this blows his argument about tokenism out the water. I want you to go back and listen. Did he say Supergirl? No. Did he say Captain Marvel? No. Did he say Laura Kinney, the female Wolverine? No. Look who he used to describe tokenism. It's right there. It's literally right there. Watch. Just watch. What's up, Sam? Watch this.
Hero.
All right. So again, that is the context. I'm
a black Batman. You're going to get characters that have been Batman, and different characters have worn these suits of Batman. But we all know the Batman is white as hell, and that's Bruce Wayne. That's the iconic Batman. So if you up and depicted a black Batman, you're going to get some backlash. And
why? If we're doing tokenism, that has to do with females and female representation. You know, the Mexican community. We're talking about the Asian, Middle Eastern community. We're talking about all these other LGBT community, whatever community. Why did you preference black? We're talking about tokenism. You see what I'm saying? These idiots that follow this bullcrap can't see the word salad right in front of them because they're not using their logical brains and they're not listening. They won't listen. Because if you listen closely, he literally said exactly what needed to be said. You see what I mean? He never used Supergirl because that's a white female that's literally a derivative of Superman. You just say, well, shit, you just put Superman as Supergirl. That's whack as hell. No, he used a black Batman to make his point. Because you're going to get backlash. But you never use somebody that's white. You didn't use somebody that's Mexican. You didn't use somebody who was Puerto Rican, Dominican, Haitian. But Black Batman, oh, you know. So you already know, literally, that the tokenism had nothing. He was using word salad to get you to think that tokenism has to do with everybody else. The first thing that came to his mind was a Black Batman catching backlash. Let's let this finish.
Yeah, some characters have been written decently that are of different races and have suited up in the suit of a hero.
All right, so again, that is the context. I mentioned another character, not Spider-Man, and like Batman and other people having, let's say, filled his suit.
But he used two black characters, Miles Morales and a Black Batman. He did not mention no white girl being another one. He didn't mention no Latino girl, a Latina. You know what I'm saying? Being in the suit. He didn't mention no other race. But he talked about tokenism being this thing that he created. You know, in his mind, it's everybody. But look at the examples he used. See, again, I like to argue too. But I don't argue, I debate, and I listen, and I judge. And what I listened to was a bunch of bullshiggity. That's what I heard, a whole slab of bullshiggity. Taste the biscuits.
Still less preferable, right? And whatnot. And what I'm going to mention here is Miles Morales, and I'm talking about, well, at minimum, it's at least decent that they didn't just take Peter Parker, the character, and let's say put him in a new universe and then just race swap him, saying that he's now Peter Parker and he's, let's say, biracial like Miles Morales did. Instead, they created another Spider-Man. It's a knockoff. It's still tokenism. And they...
Why he never mentioned again? He's going at... I try to tell you, this is literally logic 101. He goes after the black Spider-Man. He didn't say anything about Ben Riley. Didn't say anything about, he didn't call Miguel O'Hara Spider-Man 2099 a knockoff. Or the other Spider-Man that came along. The only one he attacked was the one that looked like him. Y'all don't see this? Y'all don't see this? I haven't even got to Birdman's video. I haven't even got to that video yet. We got time today, ladies and gentlemen. We got time today. But I didn't even get to Birdman's video because anybody who's trying to expose the Birdman as a grifter, don't listen.
They named him Miles Morales, right? He's still Peter Darker. At no point do I say,
wait a minute.
No point do I say that I actually like the character.
Wait a minute. So now you use a racial condemnation about the guy's race, call him Peter Darker. Doesn't that sound like something, I don't know, a racist would say? Someone who is anti-black. Let's run that back. Let's hear that one more time.
Just race swap him, saying that he's now Peter Parker and he's, let's say, biracial like Miles Morales did. Instead, they created another Spider-Man. It's a knockoff. It's still tokenism. And they named him Miles Morales, right? He's still Peter Darker. At no point do I say, and we're going to listen.
Hold up. So, of course, you know I come with receipts. Y'all know me. I'm covered with receipts too. So I got a video when I switched over my channel. And for y'all that's been rocking with me for a minute, y'all know that I started off, I was doing reaction videos and stuff like that. And then, you know, I've told this story before that someone, you know, hold on, came to me and was like, yo, why do you got all these toys in the background? And I was like, you know what? Because I am so into this stuff? Why don't I talk about this stuff more? Why don't I just talk about this stuff more? So I switched over. It was like, I need to break out of my shell. I got a whole TikTok video about it. Breaking out of my shell and talking more about the comic book space. This was the first. Let me switch over. Let me share my screen. Because you're going to hear. Now, mind you, he just called Miles Morales Peter Darker. Watch when somebody used something, they called him a coon or a jigaboo. Look at the way he reacts to somebody calling him that. And this was the Young Ripper verse at Black Sands Entertainment. This is the first time I ain't never heard of this dude until the whole Black Sands thing, and they were arguing online. Never heard about this dude. But listen what he says in this video that I did from 3 years ago. What up, Belvex? Listen, just listen. This is, me from a couple years ago. Listen to this.
Black Sands Entertainment. I'm gonna play that video right now.
Word. I just put something out that got people interested, and they paid for the product. That's all that it did. I didn't have to go to an investor. In fact, that was one of the talking points on one of the trailers that I talked about, and that there's no external investors here. So the person that's bankrolling this company that you're griping about because Fox News of all people said something positive about it is owned by a black man who is also married to a black.
No, they made a video called Eric July Creates the Anti-Woke Comic Book, and they showcase you. And again, I didn't care. I don't care if you're a black man, go on Fox News. I don't care if you're a black man to go MSNBC. I don't give a crap. I honestly don't. I honestly don't. I do not care at all. And at this point in time, I didn't even know who this dude was. So I really didn't care. You know what I'm saying? What he went to go do. What I cared about, right? Yeah, I did say, and I did on here, he looks like Bill Cosby from Let's Do It Again. But he said something about them being black. Just listen, because I always keep receipts. Listen to what he says about somebody talking about his race.
Woman, and you have an issue with that, and you're making an enemy out of that, which is goofy. Like, there could have been an opportunity for maybe even a collaboration effort, because again, I'm not knocking anybody in this space, and I believe that folks that just want to make good content, detached from maybe what the mainstream guys want to. The old saying is, the soda rides the tide.
Listen to this. Just listen to again. Word salad. Just listen to it.
To Black Sands Entertainment. I'm gonna play that.
I miss my glasses.
Word. I just put something out that got people interested, and they paid for the product. That's all that it did. I didn't have to go to an investor. In fact, that was one of the talking points on one of the trailers that I talked about, and that there's no external investors here.
He didn't have investors, but because of his base, he did exactly what Trump did in 2016. You riled up a base. You talked about all this stuff to get people on board. You use anti-black tropes. That's what you did, Eric. You use anti-black tropes and say, I'm going to be the anti-woke, this and the other. You riled up a base and they funded your product. Don't be let's not be disingenuous. You know exactly what you did, Eric. You know exactly what you did.
So the person that's bankrolling this company that you're griping about because Fox News of all people said something positive about it is owned by a black man who is also married to a black woman. And you have an issue with that, and you're making an enemy out of that, which is goofy. Like, there could have been an opportunity for maybe even a collaboration effort, because again, I'm not knocking anybody in this space, and I believe that folks that just want to make
he did not knock at anybody in this space, but he went after. There's a video where he went after the young guy Tony Weaver Jr. That's a young kid that's doing his own thing in his space. There's a video where he went against, because I wanted to know more about Eric July. So I just went through the rabbit hole of Eric July's videos, because that's what I do. And I looked, I'm like, but you go after Tony Weaver Jr., who's probably the nicest blurred on the face of the planet. But yet here, he said, I'm not knocking anybody in this space. Dog, he's full of crap.
good content detached from maybe what the mainstream guys wanted. The old saying is, the soda rides and tide lifts all boats. There could have been something that you could have got from that. But instead, you are knocking another black man, by the way, and because you called me a Sambo, which let me get this out the way. You a sucker for exactly that. In an event that you would like to reach out to me directly and actually have a conversation about that, because you're trying to make a claim that's a negative connotation based upon my race. So what we have here is a black man disparaging another black man based upon his race. Right, not because he's just this saying that we disagree and therefore he's disagreeing because he's black. No, we saw the receipts of this person actually referring to me to a derogatory term that is playing on the race. Okay,
but then you go back. Hold on. We go back here, and what did you say?
Let's say put him in a new universe and then just race swap him, saying that he's now Peter Parker and he's, let's say, biracial like Miles Morales did. Instead, they created another Spider-Man. It's a knockoff. It's still tokenism. And they named him Miles Morales, right? He's still Peter Darker.
Aren't you saying something that's based upon another black man disparaging another black man based on his race? I mean, Grifting 101. The first thing you need to do is play victim when somebody comes to you the same way you've been coming to a lot of these people in the same way. It hurts so bad, don't it? It hurts. He tripping on my race. Peter Darker. Man, I can say that, but he can't call me a Sambo. He can't call me a crackety cool, a jigaboo. He can't call me that. Why? This is based on a race. Do you see how easy that I debunked this whole exposed to the Grifter, the Birdman video without even playing the Birdman's video?
At no point do I say, and we're going to listen, no point do I say that I actually like the character. I'm speaking more to the fact that, well, that's far more preferable than them just taking Peter Parker and then swapping him, despite you can make the argument that's what he is, as like they have a very similar like origin and all of that, but he's at least his name's Miles Morales and not Peter Parker. So listen in on this.
Or a version of that hero. One of the more obvious is Miles Morales as Spider-Man. Now, most of these types of efforts are forced, corny, and lazy, but at least Miles Morales has his own background. This is far better than just simply making Peter Parker a black guy.
Which is, again, it's the same point that I've made a million times, which is what was weird about.
Again, this goes back to tokenism. Him using word salad to get your mind off of what tokenism really is, but also using what tokenism really is. I mean, this is easy work. This, to me, this is light work, ladies and gentlemen. This is light work for me. And the guy, the young you, and I'm not knocking this YouTuber. I don't know this YouTuber, right? He got the same amount of people I got, right? So we're in the same boat, right? We both struggle streaming, but it's easy that I could just use a video that I did about 2 years ago, use it in this video and say, Eric July, you still don't get it. You tried to tell everybody that, oh, tokenism means this, that, and the other. You still use 2 black characters in your description of tokenism. You can't make this ish up.
That fat dude grabbing this like he's discovered something. Like, dude, I've made this point a million times and I still make it to this day. That's more preferable, but which also doesn't make the clip that this guy clipped. You're going to hear me say, regardless, it's still not a preferable thing. Listen.
Miles is an exception, make no mistake. And it will always be preferable to have another character with his own unique skill set, unique art. Stop being lazy and taking developed characters and making them of different descent for the sake of representation and diversity. I don't care in what timeline you.
And I do agree with him in a certain aspect of that, because I'm not an idiot. So I do agree with him. Instead of just race swapping, and normally they were doing that in the movies and stuff like that, just like we have with Wonder Man. So I agree with him on that. Why would you race swap Wonder Man when you could have elevated another black character that is a actual original black character, right? That's easy. Just elevate that character. So I'm not wrong on that, but it's the way he used the words out, the way that he twisted words to make you think one thing when he was actually talking about the same thing the whole entire time.
It'll forever be whack. And it's stupid because there's so many examples.
Like, I couldn't be any clearer than that point. And like, it's still always whack. But at least with Miles, he's not, even though I call him Peter Parker, I'm speaking more to where they copied and pasted. Yeah, but it would have been worse if they just said, hey, here's this new universe, Peter Parker.
They didn't copy and paste. Miles has a different origin story than Peter Parker. Only thing that's the same is they got bit by a radioactive spider. That's the only difference. But their upbringing, where's Peter Parker's parents? In the original Spider-Man and Amazing Fantasy number 15, where's Peter Parker's parents? Oh, he was raised with his aunt and uncle. And then his uncle dies, and that was the canon event for him, right? Miles Morales got both his parents. You know, his uncle is not a swinging tombstone, is he? I'm just...
Parker's now black in Puerto Rico. That would have been a different animal, and it would have been worse. So though it's not preferable, here's what you get. It's not a new point that I've made.
Integrity.
You know, this guy who made this video is getting murdered in the comment section. He's getting murdered in this comment section. For the simple fact is that, number one, he did not make the points. He tried to have Eric make the points where I clearly, in this hour and 7-minute video live stream so far, has debunked everything that Eric July just said. Because again, you can't talk about tokenism and make your own words and then use tokenism in his original format to make your point. Tastes like Jell-O.
Oh gosh. You know, I'm not much on speeches, but it's so gratifying to leave you wallowing in the mess you've made. You're screwed. Thank you. Bye.
And I'm not done with Birdman. I have much more to say, but that's for another video.
You didn't say anything in this video. Okay. Yes, for another video. You didn't say a bunch of stuff here. Good God almighty. If you're going to argue the Birdman, argue the Birdman. You see how I just broke your whole entire argument down using Eric July's own video to break it down. It's to give you understanding and clarity on why you can't use that and then you still use it in the original context. For one, you got to preface it and let people know what the original meaning is. Use your new meaning and why you're using it, and then give the example of your version in a sentence. English 101, ladies and gentlemen. English 101. But we still got more of the Dre Mac Show. I got to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with more of the Butter Biscuits in just a moment.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Now you can own one of the greatest gospel albums ever offered. With only giant hits and legendary stars.
Biscuit. I know the truth about it. I love. Oh, how I love this biscuit. Oh, how I love this biscuit. It is the best biscuit. I know.
This treasury is not sold in stores.
you also get another entire album of all-time gospel favorites.
We now return to the Transformers.
I swear to God, you can't. I hate. I don't like using that because I know there's some religious people to say that, you know. But I'm gonna just say, this: you literally can literally break down linguistics better than Johnny Storm did in Fantastic Four if you just listen to people. If you sit back and actually listen to what people say and be like, that's not right. Or, you know what? I agree with you on that. Just listen. Because people that guy was so caught up in his emotions that he didn't listen to what Eric actually said. And then try to say, well, the Birdman, look at him. He's grifting. He's grifting. Look at him. So we about to get, anybody go buy that gospel album for me? Because I sure would like to hear, the goodness of the biscuit. I would love to hear that. But y'all got to make sure that y'all get that for a brother. The best biscuits I know. All right, let's hear what the Birdman got to say about people trying to expose him to grifting.
I created this series out of frustration, not an aimless anger, but a pointed tension that was building over the last couple of years. I had noticed media analysis getting progressively worse and worse, devolving to the point that it mirrored the United States political structure. Us versus them. Team sports where who made a thing is what determines if you like that thing or not. Like how leftists have decided Harry Potter is now the worst thing ever, and they are now dissecting it, calling it racist and all other manner of unsavory things. Those on the right have taken to dunking on anything Rian Johnson makes, for example, like the cynical Grifter attempting to lie to the audience that Glass Onion is a bad film when we know his problem is because Rian made The Last Jedi. It's takes like these that frustrate me because there's a clear lack of integrity, and because these things are said by people that are popular, these takes bleed into the discourse surrounding media and then become the discourse.
Now you see, and again, those who don't like the Birdman, I get it. I understand. But at least you got to give the Birdman this props. He always prefaces everything that he says with a logical thought for you to sit back, listen, because he's telling you exactly the who, what, where, when, and why of why he does about a video. Who he's going after, why he does it, where this is taking place at, who's all about all of it. All of it is included in the beginning. Let's keep going.
Then leaves people like me in an awkward position where we can't simply have normal conversations about film or video games and are forced to contend with the latest buzzwords and political talking points. These are a couple of comments I received for daring to play Hogwarts Legacy amidst the controversy surrounding J.K. Rowling. I dislike having to respond to comments like these because I believe my stance should be self-evident, the separation of the art from the artist, and to judge that piece of art on its own merit. I do not care about the personal lives of the people that make the art. I just want to talk about the art itself. If you followed me for any length of time, you will see that in every single review I've ever uploaded, I stick to the topic under discussion and I leave anything outside of the art outside of my review. 3 years ago and 2 years before I began this series, I said,
this is the video that old boy was using, right? The same video. But he wouldn't take the time out to address the problem that he had with the Birdman in a logical, understanding, non-cynical point of view. The first thing he did was shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. Shout out to Kevin Samuels.
This.
Tony Sonic, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. You're the guy who insists on comic book accuracy, but in your review of the Batman, you weren't bothered by the Riddler looking nothing like the Riddler. Why is that? What? How is that a real question? How many characters in comic books, movies, don't look like themselves, and I'm still able to judge a film on its own merit and still have that complaint? Almost all of my reviews are that way. Because I tell you guys, you need to separate these things. You need to go, here are my real issues with this thing, and
here's what I thought of the movie being a movie. That's what you
There
have
it is.
to do. And that's what I do for everything. Yes, have your complaints, but like also tell me about the thing. And that's what I think a lot of people can't do. They okay, specifically like the She-Hulk thing, right? Everybody has their issue with pre-release. And then they use that to judge the fucking show. It's like, no.
Did he not do? Is that not the talking point that the Birdman has been using with everything that the critical Grifter has said, with what dorks and goofies have been saying, or old Tupperlord over there, the missing link? You know what I'm saying? The original man from the cave. Y'all know the one, the bald-headed one. You know, Thumbhead. Does he not said that about old Thumbhead? You know, we don't even have to use, you know, let's do it again anymore. Because that's what I'm going to call Eric July now. Anytime he says something like, let's do it again. What's up, Bill? Let's do it again. You know what I'm saying? Do you got Sidney Poitier with you? Because I want to do it again. He's always said the same. You got to give him props because he said the same thing all the time. And you got to give somebody consistency with that. You know what, Roberta, I'm sorry. I missed it because I was too busy trying to get this together. Let me make sure that I get that super chat. Again, thank you so very much for the $10 super chat. I need you to check your blood pressure. Don't let these scriptures upset you. I do a scooter drop by. Get the likes up. We need 20 more likes. Thank you, Miss Roberta. And trust me, this is just me. This is my path. I love with this series, especially when it comes to comic book movies and stuff like that. I like to get into the weeds of this because so many people use the grift so much that they trip themselves up, and a lot of people don't listen. They're so into their feelings, they're not listening to the person because that person triggers something in them to make them feel good. But they're not listening to these people. Honestly, taking a point, I'd be like, let me actually dissect what you're saying. But again, if you feel a certain way and they rile up those feelings, no different than the political parties that rile up feelings and not actually what I'm going to do as president, this feelings. You know what I'm saying? No matter what the feeling is. Let me rile up the feelings to get you to vote for me. But are you going to do what you said you was going to do? No, I'm just going to play with your emotions. And a lot of times, this is what these grifters do. They use emotions to rile up their fan base. So like they can talk about She-Hulk at the beginning and crap on it before they actually see it. That's why they did with Ironheart. So they did with the Acolyte. Now, some people didn't like Acolyte. That's fine. But why would you crap on it before it even comes out? Because you didn't like what the person has said or whatever. Who cares? Judge the actual show based on the show. I don't care who said what. Just judge it on the show. Then if at the end of the day you don't like the show, you don't like the show. It ain't my job to make you like something. It's your job. But that's all I'm saying. Birdman has been consistent with that. Every video that I've done a reaction video to his, he's been consistent. And that I can't take away from. So let me go ahead and get Miss Roberta with this.
You are truly amazing. Thank you for your super chat.
Oh my God. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Like, cool. Let's talk about the shit you had a problem with. But also, can you tell me what you thought about the actual episode? Like can we talk about that? People, for some reason, can't do it. And it's frustrating for me when I'm looking for, I don't know, opinions on things or reviews on things. That's why, like, I'm so disillusioned with reviews these days because nobody is impartial anymore. Everybody's letting whatever bias they hold color their reviews. And that shit is mad frustrating.
I agree.
And it bothers me, actually. You got guys on both sides going, boom, oh, this show's a 10 because incels are mad. Ha ha ha. Then you got the other motherfuckers on the other side boom, this show's a 1 or a 0 out of 10 because feminism.
I agree. I
get it, fam. You don't like incels. I get it. You don't like feminism. Can we talk about the show though? Like, because
y'all know how I feel about that show.
Not your little fucking little culture war going on, you know? That's how I feel.
As you can see, my position has remained unchanged, and this is because this is my real position. I decided to stand up to this rhetoric because this is something I feel strongly about and have been talking about for years. So why is it that I continue receiving comments like these? After 20 videos in this series, I feel as if I have made it clear what a grifter is and why you should avoid them. Heck,
I've only did, this is number 9.
Very video that this comment is taken from, I very specifically laid out what the media grift machine looks like. Somehow, people like this have it in their heads that my arguments also apply to me. And that got me thinking, am I also a grifter?
Actually, actually, I did watch this video before. It's just been a minute. That's why I made that's why my series is called Am I a YouTube Grifter? After watching it, I'm like, damn, did I grift? Did I grift? I mean, my show was totally different, which I'm going to get into. I'm going to do some reaction videos to my old videos next month. Oh, boy.
It's a fuck. It's your life, bitch. Fuck you, boss. I'm late.
I come from an era early in the internet where people who brought up extraneous political talking points were shunned. If you got on a forum about Star Wars and started talking about Hollywood being an evil cabal of Jews trying to take over the world through subliminal media messaging, you would rightfully be laughed off the website. People would deem you the resident forum clown, and you might even get banned while being told to go back to Stormfront. Today, that take is basically mainstream, if we include the toxicity on Elon Musk's Twitter. It's a little more subtle with media grifters that talk about it, though. They use euphemisms like Disney, Hollywood, and mainstream media, but they're just the modern incarnation of the internet forum troll promoting harmful conspiracy theories. And some of them
y'all see
resident forum clown, and you might even get banned while being told to
you
go back
to
Stormfront.
We're in the second.
Today, that take is basically
in the third quarter.
If we include the toxicity on Elon Musk's Twitter, it's a little more subtle with media.
See, signs that you are dealing with a grifter or a parrot. Number 1, using the term woke, but can't define it when it's pressed. Using the word slop unironically, which, okay. I was about to say, what does that mean? But, okay, yeah. If it's trash, crap, slop, whatever. Mentioning Disney when completely irrelevant. Random hate of female characters or protagonists. Let's throw blacks in there. Let's throw the blacks in there, especially for Eric July, because you're talking about me, about the race. You're using words because you a sucker about my race. Peter Darker. Can't make this shit up. Calling everyone racist makes them feel meaningless. Conspiracy theories, Jews, flat earth, vaccines, chemtrails, etc. has never seen or played the movie or game under discussion.
Grifters that talk about it, though. They use euphemisms like Disney, Hollywood, and mainstream media, but they're just the modern incarnation of the internet forum troll promoting harmful conspiracy theories. And some of them are not even subtle. What I'm saying is, this is the media discourse environment where I got my sea legs. It's this time period that I seek to return to, however delusional that makes me. I cannot deny that after Gamergate, things have changed, and if we are even able to return to that level of media discourse, it would take something monumental to begin that cultural shift.
Now, Amber, I'm gonna tell you what happened. The reason why we got into it, like I was talking about earlier, was super religious. The whole discussion was flat earth. That's what the discussion was: flat earth, religion versus science. That's what we were going back and forth about. And like I said, he wasn't calling me out my name or whatever. He was arguing his points. I was arguing my points. And then eventually I just stopped. I think one of us just stopped talking. And then I invited him. This is way before I was talking about because I watch Everything Wrong With, and of course he does, his parody reaction video or Everything Wrong With. So that's what we got into it about. But then I even invited him to my podcast that I had, which I had a bigger following. Like if you on Facebook, I have a way bigger following on Facebook. Like, that's back before they had followers. You had, the only way they can see you if you're friends. I maxed out on friends a long time ago. You know what I mean? Because it's like over 5,000 friends and whatever. But yeah, that's what we got into it about. And it wasn't like, we wasn't calling each other idiots or you stupid. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what we got into it about. And I'm not going to lie. I was straight flat earth. Now I don't care. You know why I don't care? Because everything is going to come out. And when I die, am I going to go to the flat earth heaven? I don't care. I don't care anymore. I just don't. Because it's not worth my time to care anymore. It's not. It's not. You know what I mean? I didn't say it was a pizza. It's not flatbread. And I gave an honest example of what I think it was based on the Bible, what the Bible said. And me and Birdman was going right at it. Biblical, his science. Biblical, science, back and forth. You know what I mean? And okay, I parted his friends. He thought one way, I thought another. That's okay. And that's where I'm at right now. Even still, biblically, yeah, I still believe in what the Bible says. I'm going to always believe that. I've told y'all what I am. So I'm going to always believe that. But I'm not going to sit up here and be like, you're wrong because you don't believe what I believe. It's one of the things that I don't like about religion. Somebody doesn't have the same religion that you have, or you're going to hell. How do you know? How do you know? Or somebody doesn't believe in science or some of the pseudoscience that's out there. You know what I mean? And then I'm wrong, and you know what I'm saying? And, you're going to let religion, kill you or something. There's something stupid. Why should I let that much energy go to something that I haven't truly proven myself? Because I don't have no spaceship. I can't go outside and go around the world and see what it really looks like. I can only believe what I believe in the Bible. If I am a true believer of the word. If that he can't get mad at me about, he might not agree with it, but he can't get mad at me. Just like I can't get mad at him in what he believes as far as science. And we parted away as friends. That's it.
So, what these people do sticks out to me like a sore thumb. It's blatantly obvious to me how these people twist and contort narratives to push whatever ideology they may hold. So, I thought I would take it upon myself to explain this to people for whom this may not be as obvious. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but I'm really good at sussing out bullshit and putting it in a way that's easy for people to understand.
Didn't that guy just use his whole video about exposing the Birdman? Exposing the Grift, the Birdman, it just did the same video that he just did, but used Eric July's clip, but didn't break down any of the clip. Boy, you talking about lazy.
You see, I have this personality quirk where I can't stand to see a lie being told or an inaccuracy being held publicly. This causes me to argue on basically any platform you can find me on. It's cathartic for me to prove someone is wrong using evidence because I cannot stand public lies where people get away with saying wrong things. When I was a child, this behavior caused my mother to always proclaim that I would grow up to be a lawyer because arguing a case is something I've been doing for over 30 years.
Video, Eric July's video, but didn't have any argument.
This personality quirk is precisely why I created the Everything Wrong with CinemaSins series. I'd realized Jeremy was saying wrong things about Blade Runner 2049, a movie that I adore and had seen at least 3 or 4 times prior to their video's release. It was in that series that I'd finally found an outlet for my desire to correct incorrect things, and I was happy simply for finding that outlet for my abilities.
and he only had at that time 1,500, a little over 1,500 subscribers. So again, it is not where your beginning is where your end is. So those that are out here, keep pushing your YouTube channels, keep pushing your podcasts on audio networks or whatever. Because trust me, it's going to blow. That's why people be like, man, your channel needs to be bigger. It will. I'm not worried about it. I'm in my second year of finding my footing because I've been podcasting since 2017. So the last 8 years I've been doing this since August of 2017. I just had to find my footing, and I started off as an audio podcast. And then I went to when I found out how to do videos, which we're trying to check next month. Oh, y'all about to be rolling. You know what I mean? Y'all about to be rolling because I had no idea how to do YouTube or any of this. I was just doing stuff. But I will always sprinkle in the nerd stuff here and there because I came from the Legend of the Petty Nerds. You know what I'm saying? The Legion of Geek. So I always sprinkle in, but I was so pro-black and so pro my position that I wasn't having fun. I wasn't enjoying what I was doing. I was picking up comics and reading comics and picking up toys and all of this. I wasn't doing my passion. So once I found my purpose, this is why I'm so uniquely in this space right now, and I love it.
I may not have grown up to be a lawyer, but I did grow up to follow my heart. And I suppose you could call me successful. I'm not a gigantic YouTuber by any means, but this endeavor has allowed me to live a life that I couldn't have imagined when I was in college and working for Best Buy. I drive a cool sports car, 2 of them, actually.
Yo, Birdman, hey, hold up, Birdman. Can I get one of them? Come on, Birdman. Come on, Birdman. Let me get that. Let me get that. Real quick. Let me get that Porsche.
2 of them, actually. I fly to Japan 3 to 4 times every year. Hell, I'm going back in a couple of weeks from the time this video will be uploaded. What I'm saying is, it's true that I make money from doing what I do on my channel. This is my job, after all, and I like to think I'm good at what I do. But simply making money is not what makes someone a grifter, and this is the conclusion people like this come to when talking about me. In my video exposing the grift, what is grifting, I explained that media grifters were people that farm and harvest outrage, that their goal is to rile you up so that you're always upset and mobilize you to continue patronizing their platform and purchasing whatever it is they're selling. So I can kind of see where people are coming from when they attempt to paint me with this brush. This is a monetized platform, and I talk about things the same as those I'm criticizing, right? Well, the difference here is that I don't squeeze the same stone multiple times hoping for more blood. These are all different videos from the Critical Drinker. I can accept someone giving their honest thoughts about a topic and moving on, but this is not that.
Exactly.
This is an attempt at organizing a hate campaign against Rachel Zegler because she said or did something the Critical Drinker doesn't like.
And look how many views the Critical Drinker got. 2.6 million views 8 months ago, 2 million views 4 months ago, 3 million views 2 months ago, 1.7 million views a month ago, 2.4 million views, I think a month ago, and 2 million views 2 weeks ago. Now you're seeing, for one, the Birdman doesn't even have the same the same amount of subscribers. I'm gonna have to hold on real quick. I gotta make a phone call real quick. Hold on. Don't go nowhere. I gotta be right back. I gotta make this phone call because it's about my house. So let me take this phone call real quick. I'll be right back with more of the Dre Mac Show. All right, I kind of miss using that music. All right, let's get back to it. Let's get back to it. Give me just a second. Finally got somebody coming out here to fix some issues with my house, and I've been waiting. So let's keep going.
Does this look like an actual person giving honest media analysis, or does this look like Zegler derangement syndrome? These people did the same thing with Brie Larson and Daisy Ridley. They are still making cringe thumbnails about Daisy 6 years after her last Star Wars film.
That's something that I noticed when I was going. It's the cringe, those cringe thumbnails and stuff like that, where I know this is out of the Grifter's handbook. You'll see it. You'll know what I'm talking about. Let's keep going.
Released a film this year that almost nobody saw, except me, because I go see everything. And wouldn't you know it, the critical drinker went out of his way to review it, complete with an out-of-context thumbnail meant to make Daisy look bad. You'll never guess what he thinks about this movie, that also has a higher IMDb rating than Rogue Elements. Part of me thinks that if Daisy had been cast in Haley Steinfeld's role in Sinners, he'd already have a review of that film a week ago. My point is, when you look across my channel, you don't see this type of behavior. I have very strongly held positions on things, but you'll never see me grinding an axe on the same person or topic for 5+ years. I'll make a video, maybe 2, and move on with my life. I'm not telling the audience what they want to hear.
No, I did not see Rogue Elements.
Across basically every video I've ever produced, you'll find me in the comment section arguing with someone that is a follower or former follower of mine. That's because I don't care what you think, only what you can prove. This is the antithesis of being a grifter, pissing people off because I won't appease their egos or cater to their strongly held beliefs. I routinely make fun of religion, knowing that a large percentage of my audience is religious.
See, he literally telling you, I'm going to make fun of you because I know that you're largely religious. And again, I'm not, let me preface this. I'm more biblical based. I'm not religious. Once I start separating the religion and looked at the biblical base, I got out of religion, because religion can have you more evil to certain people than you are Christian to people. And that's just my thoughts. Not saying nobody else. This is me. We keep going.
I champion science in an increasingly scientifically illiterate world. I make challenging videos defending the MCU in an era where internet consensus holds that the MCU isn't as good anymore. If I were a grifter, I would be shit at the job, because the whole point of grifting is getting people to agree with you. The very nature of my work is contentious and invites challenge. I say things that are difficult for people to hear and accept, but I say them because...
So check this out. If you look at it, ugly female characters, go woke, go broke is always considered, when it's black people, is go woke. Again, woke was stolen from black people and it's used to go against black people. The ugly female characteristics, you know what I mean? Or the ugly female characters, exactly what I was going at when they were talking about Jay was ugly. Not because she was bald and Jade in Mortal Kombat, she have a long ponytail, which in the last video game that she was in, wore a hood throughout her character model. You see what I mean? But they were so at going after the sister, calling her ugly, because that's the same sister from the video game that the critical drinker and all these other grifters went at. And it gave them all those views. And if the Birdman is making that kind of money, what do you think the critical drinker and all these other guys are making off of grifting? Why do you think Tyrone Magnus wants to grift? Why do you think any of these people want to grift? If I'm making that kind of money where I could go to Japan, 4 times a year, and I could go and buy a Porsche, well, I'm still American, baby. I'll go give me a GTD. If I had that kind of money, I'm getting a GTD. I'm just saying. But I'm just saying, the money's there. So it's not surprising. You're doing it for money. Probably half of these people do not care about this content like that. They're doing it for money, especially a crook like Neurotic.
They are true. I am not Donald Trump holding up a Bible in the front of a church. I'd rather debate the Bible's account of Judas's death in front of that church. Now, I'm aware that someone is going to hear me say all this and then bring up CinemaSins and this very series, like this comment did, with the underlying logic being that I am somehow grifting by making these videos. My response to this is very simple. These are series. There's no definite end to them because that's how they were designed. For my CinemaSins videos, the draw is the film we're discussing, and there's an infinite number of those. I'll keep making those videos as long as there are movies to talk about because I genuinely enjoy that. Fact-checking CinemaSins is the cherry on top. It's something I like doing because of that personality quirk I mentioned earlier. I joke about the audience being Stan, but maybe that's actually me. As for the Exposing the Grift series, I think the reason I've output this many videos is because I've been holding back on this stuff for so long. I would make quips in my Everything Wrong with CinemaSins series here and there, but I had much more to say. Anyone who has been following me can tell you that I've been saying these very things on stream for years, and I'm only just now putting those thoughts in video form.
Holy Grail, thanks so much for the $20 super chat. I want to thank you for being a huge inspo for my video essays. Made a video about Snape's casting and getting a lot of hate for it, but your video gave me the confidence to be the one who speaks out regardless of the populace. There you go. Always do something because you want to do it and not that it's going to get views, make money. That's how I make videos. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to make a video because I wanted to make it. Not like I'm not afraid to make a video on a big content creator or it's going to be a contentious sort of idea. I'm going to say what I need to say. You know, and
this is the thing that people was coming to me about. You said he's lying. Hold on, what is he lying about, Erica D? But I said the same thing. I didn't care about if you're like I said, when the whole thing with Recast T'Challa in E-Man from E-Man's movie reviews, when I because remember, E-Man reached out to me like, yo, you know what I mean? It wasn't nothing personal, but just because I like you, listen to me. This is for all my YouTubers. Just because I like you doesn't mean that I'm going to agree with everything that you say. And if I make a video about it, I'm expressing myself with the art. It has nothing to do with you personally. You could be my friend. You could be somebody I don't know. You could be in this YouTube space. If I don't agree with your take, it's just a take. We can debate the take. Don't get in your feelings. It's just a take. You don't like the way that I say it, come to me as a man and be like, yo, I didn't like it. I can say that about E-Man. E-Man did not like the way that I came to him about it, and I told him, this is not nothing personal. It has nothing to do with personal. But what I am going to do is give you I'm going to say what I need to say based on what you said. It's a critique of your take. Just like you critique a video or you go in the movies, you give a review of the movie. I'm giving you the review of what I'm saying about your video. And I'm giving my honest thoughts. You don't have to agree with it. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? We can have a conversation, but don't get in your feelings because it's nothing personal. It's never nothing personal. You know what I mean? But some people have taken it personally. That's fine. I don't care. Do a video back. Critique me. I don't care. But don't take it. Don't get in your feelings. Because you get in your feelings, now I'm starting to look at you a whole lot differently, big dog.
I think we need more voices like that. We have too many voices going with the grain. No disrespect to him, but Charlie, Moist Critical, Penguins, I feel like he goes with the crowd way too often for my taste. And I've been following the guy since before he showed his face. So I'm a fan. I'm not a hater. Just saying certain people you can tell when they're going with the crowd. And I never respect that. You know, because I'm one of those dudes that's going to say what the fuck I need to say. And that goes if I'm going to offend my own audience. I just don't care because it's me. And that's my opinion. And that's what I want to get out there.
So as you can see, it's not a trend or a viral topic that I'm attempting to capitalize on. I actually can't stand these fucking people and the damage they've done to media discourse. I publicly tweeted about the Critical Drinker 4 years ago and about how I'm no longer a subscriber of his due to me clocking this behavior that I'm now profiling. This isn't a grift for me. This is how I really feel. I mean, look at me on Instagram saying exactly the same things I say in my videos, only I'm not getting paid for saying them. It's almost like I actually believe what I'm saying or something. And finally, if you're still not convinced that calling me a grifter doesn't even make sense, this is like saying a journalist reporting on corruption is just as bad as the corrupt official. Because, hey, both are making money, right? Grow up, Peter Pan. Let's say this one more time for the people in the back and the terminally confused in the front. Grifters pander. They don't inform, they perform. Every video, every tweet, every fake controversy is designed to trigger your...
Yo, did you see the picture he used? This is why I said, man, they, especially when it comes to blacks, they make blacks look horrible in these thumbnails. That's why I don't understand why YouTube is allowing people like that to get paid. Like I said, I got the same beef for, you know, like when Fresh and Fit was on you. I had the same beef. The same beef. Y'all been following me since Jonathan Majors. Yeah, all the instead of telling this ain't like I ain't did it before. So me doing this, am I a YouTube grifter? My own thing. It's not nothing new because I was doing this when people was going after Jonathan Majors. And instead of them actually getting the truth about the actual situation about Jonathan, since I was covering it and all of that so tough, they'd rather just make videos and do shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. Like, you can't do that. At least preface it with the truth. Now, if you want to clown them after that, that's fine. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? But at least have some truth. Tessa talks. I made what, 2 or 3 videos about her. You know what I'm saying? Them 2 goofies in Canada. Yeah, I didn't care. Why? Because I'd rather the truth be out. So this ain't nothing new for me.
And the terminally confused in the front. Grifters pander. They don't inform.
Look at this. Look at this picture that they use. They couldn't get no other picture. They had to get the worst looking picture. The man looked like he just came out of a slave plantation. That's the picture you use. Okay.
Perform.
And this ain't anti-black? Okay.
Every video, every tweet, every fake controversy is designed to trigger your dopamine like some digital drug. They chase outrage, not insight. They tell people exactly what they want to hear and cash the check before anyone bothers to ask if what they said was true.
Right.
I don't do that. I challenge my audience. I back up what I say with receipts. If I don't have all the relevant information, I explicitly say to wait for more evidence. I'm not here to sell a team jersey or scream into a culture war void just to rack up views. If you're mistaking that for grifting, then you're either projecting or desperately trying to blur the line between having integrity and having a platform, probably because you've never seen the two coexist. That tends to happen when you follow grifters. You think pointing out grifting makes me a grifter? You know what that line of thinking actually is? It's lazy. A hollow, cynical reflex that says, if I believe everyone's a con artist, I never have to confront the fact that I got conned. You don't want truth. You want parody, so you can stay comfortably ignorant and pretend that ethics are fair use and that anyone can claim them at any time. But here's the truth. Grifters lie for power. They manufacture outrage. They monetize misinformation, then
that's the guy who's going to play Snape in the Harry Potter series. But you see how they got the worst picture to paint a narrative about him?
Pretend they're just asking questions. What do? I drag these bastards into the light. I untangle the web, put names to tactics, and lay out the blueprint so people stop getting played. And if that bothers you,
Jeremy Johns is awesome. I've been
you just
watching
admitted
for years.
You prefer the lie because it's more comfortable and flattering to your ego. You don't give a shit about the truth. You're just defending your drug dealer. It's lazy. It's a refusal to confront the difference between truth told well and a lie told lucratively.
Yes, the form
but maybe that's the point. If you blur the line enough, no one's responsible. Everyone's suspect, and you never have to reevaluate who you're following and what it says about you as a person. And if you're still confused after all of that, don't worry. The grifters you stan will be more than happy to sell you another comforting fiction. But just so we're clear, if you find what I say uncomfortable, it's not because I'm hypocritical. It's because you're too pussy to admit you like following liars.
Everybody eats food, right? Most people. Let's say you had, for all 3 or 5 meals, whichever one you do, you had
He
3
ain't lying,
portions. You
though.
had your carbohydrate, your fat.
The only thing, man, I'm a Celtics fan, so he got on his Lakers gear, looking at him a little sideways because I want that Porsche. No, I'm just playing.
And your protein, right? And one of those meals out of the 3 had one bad carb. Did that mean the rest of the food was bad? Because that means you had 9 portions of something. If you ate 3 meals a day and each of them has 3 things: carb, your fat, and then your protein, right? And one of those meals, just one, had one bad carb. What about the other 8? That's how I feel about how people review movies. They let the one thing say the rest of it is bad.
Exactly.
If everything else was delicious and then you had one thing that was bad, say one thing was bad and the rest was good. Why can't people do this? And don't get me started on content creators. I can freaking rant about this all day. They do it because it sells.
Yep.
Because they make money off of it. They don't really believe, the vast majority of these motherfuckers that make YouTube videos and streams on Spotify or whatever, they don't believe what they're telling you. Okay,
They sure
they're selling
don't.
you a product, and they're selling it to the people who are diehard into this.
Yep.
They don't really believe that. Don't fall for it, motherfuckers. I'm watching the quartering. I don't believe anything he says. This is a while ago. I haven't seen his stuff in forever, but a while ago, I'm like, this motherfucker is hitting every anti-SJW talking point that exists.
Yep.
You can't possibly hold all these positions. You might.
And that's why I said Eric July, there was nothing but word salad. You know what I mean? It was nothing but word salad. Of course, I'm a Bulls fan too, D Sizzle. Don't let me pull out my Bulls jacket. Especially now that I got my 14 Ferraris. Don't let me do it. Don't let me do it because I'm a Bulls fan. Always been a Bulls fan. Bulls and Celtics fan. These Lakers, sometimes, but I loved Kobe though. So you know what I mean? Kobe was that guy. He beat my team. You know what I'm saying? And he's my brother's favorite team. You know what I mean? But yeah. Always gonna be a Bulls fan. Always gonna be a Celtics fan. Celtics fan.
He might, but to me, I don't believe it. So whenever I see content creators doing this, I automatically tune out. I'm like, I'm not getting the real here. So I just tune out and I click. I'm out. Done.
Yep.
So if I see a content creator or anybody and they don't have a nuanced position on things, I can't. No, I just can't. And that's why I love creators like Jeremy Johns, Chris Stuckman. Those guys give me the real reviews. Yep. They'll talk shit about something and still like it.
Yep.
Or they'll praise something that they don't like. That's called nuance, and that's important, and that's something that we've lost in this fucking society, and it bothers me, dude. It really does. And like I said, I can rant about that all day, so I'll let it go. I'll let it go.
You're late to work. Who gives a fuck?
All right. And that was in my YouTube grifter, the Birdman. And that's why I'm starting to like more and more reviewing his movies because I love his takes. And then I can give my takes to said take and bounce them off. You know what I mean? Because again, with that kid, and I'm gonna tag him in this video. Nah. I was gonna tag him in this, but nah, I just don't feel like it. But just being able to sit and break down just listening to people, you can just tell people don't listen to nobody no more. You know what I mean? You don't listen to people because you don't want to listen to people. You don't want to listen to people because you want to have your views. You want to have your views because if you go outside of your views, just maybe, you'll change. And with change is uncomfortability. You don't want to be uncomfortable. Because when you're uncomfortable, you got to make decisions. You got to do things that you normally wouldn't do. And you have to think and vibrate on a higher level. And when you have the capacity of a squirrel trying to find a nut, do you really want to think any higher than that? Nah, I'd rather just sit up here in my comfortability and be cool with it. That's it. That's all. And me, I've been uncomfortable my whole life. So I love doing this. I love listening to this and breaking this down. You know what I mean? Because this is just what I was doing before, but in a whole nother realm. And I love it. I absolutely love it. And I just appreciate, people like the Birdman and even what Ernie did, man. I love it. I love it. But you know what I love more?
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B.
Y'all thought I was going to say taste the biscuits. But what did you guys think? Even though I did have the situation, the people were coming out to fix a pipe in my house, and I need that. So let's go. They were calling me while I was on the stream. I didn't know who it was. So they're coming out. But what did you guys think about Exposed to the Grift? The first part 1, part 2, put it in the comment section below and let me know what you think. But you already know. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell. Oh my God, they tripping on the race. Peter Darker. Tell me what you guys think. Don't forget to hit that bell notification so you never, ever, ever miss one of my videos again. Until next time, I'll let you guys later. Peace and vampire, man. Enjoy the rest of your wisdom. Hey, where's my outro at? The race. Ain't tripping on a race because I'm black. I gotta go. Wait a minute. You're telling me the video's over? What? Huh. Okay, I guess so. If you have came to this portion of the video, thank you so very much for sticking to the end. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that little bell notification so you never miss one of my videos. And if you really want to, you don't got to, go ahead and follow the social media links that's down below. Until next time, I'll let you guys later. Peace and Bob Hire, y'all. Y'all take care of yourself.